Hi guys, welcome to Multiverse. One thing that a lot of people have been asking me about is some sort of walkthrough. Technically, I have like a billion walkthroughs. A lot of my videos are pretty much a walkthrough for certain missions or certain parts of the game, but none of them are identified as such. Never really occurred to me to identify them as an actual walkthrough. So I'm going to start making walkthrough, and I will probably make a walkthrough for each. I will try to make a walkthrough for each mentor, and to get things started, I will make a walkthrough about the Batman mentor. But eventually, in the long run, I plan to make all the mentors, but it'll probably take me a while to be able to make all of them. So basically, what I will do is that I will create a new character, and I will level up that character all the way up to level 30, playing the various mentor missions with each character. So I'll create a Batman character, a Superman character, and so on. And also, I thought that since we have a lot of new viewers, and I guess I know a lot of new players, I will make also a video about the character creation. So let's create our character that we will use for our Batman walkthrough, which I will probably start a bit later this week. So we go to character creation. Let's get started. I will skip the video. Basically, I made a video about the about all the cinematics at some point. So if you want to see the cinematics, just look at my DC Universe Online movie video or something. I forget how I called it. Again, as most games, you can choose between male and female. So let's go for male today. There's various builds that you can choose. Usually I use Striker Medium by default, which somehow I guess a lot of people do because that's the default setting as you can see. But there's a Striker Small, there's Striker Large, then there's a Spark Medium, Spark Small, Spark Large, and there's the Brute Medium, Small, and Large. Sadly, these are the only body types that we have for male. Let's take a quick look for female just to let you know. For female, basically, we have the Monarch Medium, Monarch Small, Monarch Large, and then Sprite Medium, Sprite Small, Sprite Large, and Mesa Medium, Mesa Small, and Mesa Large. So that pretty much covers all the body type. So let's go for Striker Medium. There's a whole bunch of pre-made character that we can use. Let's go through those just to show you. So basically, there's already a Batman pre-made model that you can use. So you can see right now the character is basically with a hero with gadget, roll control, movement acrobat, and using martial arts. Basically this is pretty much what I will create, but let's go through all the various builds. So morality, again, Superman, hero, ice, defense, flight, brawler. So there's also a build for Catwoman, Lex Luthor, the Joker, the Flash. Ironically enough, this pre-made build was made before we had the lightning power. I'm pretty sure in retrospect they would have made the Flash a lightning-based hero. But way back when, lightning didn't exist just yet, so you can see the Flash build is actually using fire powers. There's a Wonder Woman build using mental powers. Not really the power I would have used for Wonder Woman, but it doesn't really matter. There's a Deathstroke build, which is pretty much the same build as our friend Batman, come to think of it. There's a Bane build. So you can see a lot of characters end up being Gadget, Control, Acrobat. Gadget, Control, Acrobat. Basically, a lot of characters by default would end up being Gadget, Controller, Acrobats in DC Universe Online, which is why I ended up at some point making a whole bunch of Acrobat character that used a Gadget. So here we have a character based on Cersei, the evil villain. That's the opposite of Wonder Woman, technically, at least within the context of DC Universe Online. You can see Sorcery, Healing, Flight, Hand Blaster. There's Beast Boy for the healing power, for the nature power. Mr. Freeze for ice power. Green Arrow, again, Gadget, Control, Acrobat. There's a lot of characters. Basically, any character that has some sort of acrobatic, that doesn't really have superpowers, like Batman, Green Arrow, Nightwing, and a whole bunch of those characters, end up pretty much being acrobat gadgets. Sadly, that's pretty much how it goes. Here our friend Steel. There's a build for Steel, but again, you can see the build uses Ice. I would have used the Gadget with a Steel type character, but what do I know? Here we have the Martian Manhunter using mental powers. In this case, that kind of works. And here we're starting with powers that you have to purchase. Basically, if you're not a legendary player, or if you did not purchase the Green Lantern power, you're not going to be able to. The build that you can see here, all those builds will probably require you to purchase some sort of powers. So here we have the Green Lantern power. They pretty much reproduced a sort of Jon Stewart type build. And we have the evil Sinestro. I would have made him a bit more red, but that doesn't really matter. There's a Black Lightning for electricity. So basically, once they release the Green Lantern power, or the light power, I should say, because we had the Green Lantern and the Yellow Lantern power. So when they released the light power, they created two new builds, the Green Lantern build and the Sinestro build. Then when they released the lightning power, or the electric power, I should say, then they released the Black Lightning and Livewire as the build for that power. Then when they released the Earth power, we got Geoforce, and we got our little sister Terra. Then when they released the the quantum power, we got Captain Atom and Major Force. Then they released the celestial power, we got Eclipso, and we got the Spectre. And then they released the Red Lantern power, the Rage power, so we got Atrocitus and Guy Gardner. And then they gave us the munition power. For the munition power, they used the Detonator. I have to admit, I can't recall who that character is. And they gave us Sergeant Rock. And then we got the atomic power with Firestorm. As you can see, the build, the pre-made build for Firestorm is pretty accurate. And for the villains, they used Neutron. I would have went with maybe Atomic Skull, but what can you do? And when they gave us the water power, they gave us Mera, and they gave us Ocean Master. And that's pretty much it for all the powers. So pretty much starting with the Green Lantern Sinestro power, all those powers here require you to purchase the power. So if you're just playing as a free-to-play player, there's roughly half of the powers you won't have access to. So let's go with our Batman build because why not? But I will go through character creation a bit. So let's select our friend Batman. Even though we've taken one of the pre-made build, we could still go back and make a few changes. Like we could go back and change the costume of the character, or even the body of the character. So basically we could decide for another set of hairstyle. There's a whole bunch of hairstyle. Let's go through them. It's gonna be too long. Let's just say there's a whole bunch of hairstyle, as you can see. So depending on what you prefer, you have a pretty wide selection of style for the hair for your character. I believe there's more hairstyle for male because a lot of some of the style like are just the hair, but sometimes there will be a style with if I can find one at some point. Sometimes there'll be a style with a beard, with mutton chops, with just a goatee, or sometimes just with a mustache. So basically each hairstyle has like 5 or 6 different variants, depending whether it has a goatee, a mustache, a beard, and all that good stuff. In this case, we won't you have any hair with our character. It doesn't really matter. The mask I'm going to use, we won't be able to see the hair. And the same with the skin. There's a whole bunch of skin which we can choose. As you can see, the human skin 2 is the skin you will get by default, but there's a whole bunch of skin: leopard, lion, tiger. If you want to make some sort of oh, and there's I forgot there was a tail. So wolf skin, crystalline. If you want to make maybe an Iceman type character. If you want to make a Frankenstein type character or a zombie. This would work well for a Captain Atom type character, Dr. Manhattan, God of War, what's his name? Kratos, God of War. This works well for a black character. Lava, rock, mummy, reptile. I guess if you want to sort of recreate the evil Killer Croc. Plant, cyborg, demonic. I'm overdue. This reminds me I'm overdue for a cyborg Superman. If you want to make a robot, the robot skin is perfect to recreate the evil Doctor Doom. If you just add a few more styles, just a regular skin with tattoos. Angry, cheerful, wise, youthful, and human skin 3, which is this variant from the human skin 2. By default, usually I go with skin 2, so let's do that. So for the gear, you can select a piece of gear for each slots for a character. Like you can choose a headpiece. Again, for the headpiece, again, you have a whole bunch of headpiece you can choose from. I won't go through them all, but let's go for, in this case I'm going to use the full slimline, but I'm going to change that in just a bit. Basically, there's two ways to create your character in DC Universe Online. There's the character creation screen that you're seeing right now, where you can sort of customize the look of your character, but then as you play the game, you can earn styles within the game that will allow you to customize, that will give you a second step to customize your character. So let's say for the face, like you could decide to have a visor or some sort of stuff like that. There's again a whole, even at character creation, there's quite a good selection of different things you can use for your character. But in this case, we'll go for none because we don't need it right now. Again, for the emblem, there's a whole bunch of emblem you can choose from. Let's go for the circled wing. Eons ago, when we didn't have the Batman emblem, this is pretty much what I would use to recreate our friend the Batman. Oh, I don't want to leave yet. I will just adjust the colors for the style in just a bit. So let's continue to the chest. We'll keep this chest. For the back, let's go just with the classic cape. Again, you have a whole bunch of different back pieces you can take. Sometimes it's backpack, like if you want to recreate the Green Arrow, you have some nice arrows. This is perfect to recreate the Space Ghost, a nice rounded cape. A short cape for a character like Robin. You have a few sets of wings, like small birds, demons, tech wings. So there's quite a few options at character creation, but again, as you play the game and as you gather more style, you're going to be able to improve the look of your character. Again, with the gloves, there's a whole bunch of gloves. Since we're making the Batman, let's go for the fin gloves. For the waist, this should do the trick. Again, just to show you, there's a whole bunch of waist you can use. The same for the legs. For the legs, I love using the new Genesis pants. It gives us the short shorts on the outside that a lot of people sadly don't seem to like. But again, for the legs, there's a whole bunch of legs you can get. Again, straight at character creation. There's a lot of characters that you can create straight at character creation. For the feet, we'll keep the tall classic boots, but again, there's a whole bunch of boots that you can use. So this should do it for the gear or the styles of our character. Now let's go back one more step, and then we can adjust the colors. There's a few ways we can adjust the colors. We can adjust the colors of our gear, of our skin, of our hair, of our eyes, or of our makeup. Like if we had, let's say, some tattoos, like you saw the skin with the tattoos, the makeup is what we'll use to customize the colors of the tattoos. We don't have any of those, but let's customize just the gear. So there's two things we can do. We can customize the gear, or we can decide to the palette we're going to use. In this Universe Online, we have access to 4 colors to be able to customize our character. So let's say, this yellow. Oh, this yellow is a little too dark for my taste, so I will make it a little bit brighter. So you can pretty much adjust the intensity of the colors with those little sliders here. And of course, you can select which color you want. So again, within the context of DC Universe Online, we can have 4 colors for our character, although each pieces of gear can only sustain 3 colors at most. So that should be good for our yellow. So let's go for a nice black, which we already have, I think. And let's go for the gray. Might be a little too dark for my taste. Let's go like a little lighter. Not too much, but just a little bit. And for the last color, let's go for red, just in case. I don't think I'm going to use red with this character. So that's our palette, and then we can customize each pieces of gear. So for the head, so again you can see there's three colors for each pieces of style that we can assign. The face we don't have one, so it doesn't matter. For the emblem, eons ago this is what I would use to fake the yellow oval Batman emblem or the Batman emblem. But nowadays I'm going to show you that's no longer needed, sadly. Or at least, not sadly, at last. Oh yeah, I just realized I took the wrong chest piece. Okay. So for the back, let's put it black. For the gloves, let's put it black as well. And for the waist, let's go yellow, full yellow, because we can. For the legs, let's replace the red with black, and the feet all black. There we go. For the chest piece, I'm going to use another chest piece. Basically, I'm going to try to mimic our friend Batman usually has a cowl that covers the top, pretty much covers the neck. There's one chest piece that we can use to sort of have a fake cowl, if it's so to speak. And it's the chevron, high collar. The high collar chest piece should allow us to do that. It'll make more sense once I actually color it. So let's tweak our colors a bit. So let's see. That should do it. So by using the high collar chest piece and putting the top of the collar, the top of the chest piece black, it sort of fakes the Batman cowl, at least a little bit. I will show you why in just a minute. So basically here we've pretty much created our Batman character as close to Batman as we can within the context of DC Universe Online. As you can see, sadly, at character creation there's no bat cowl. There's no Batman cape as well, but I'm going to show you a few ways to be able to get that as soon as you create your character. So basically once you're done with the look of your character, we click next, and then we have to select the name. The name can be a bit challenging sometimes. There are times when the name you want is not available, sadly. It happens. So let's see if our I'm going to try Batmask. I had that name like yesterday. I deleted the character. So let's see if the name is still available. So once you finish creating your character, you could decide to skip the tutorial. You could decide to skip to level 25, but you're gonna have to pay, I forget how much. I think it's $10. Or you're gonna have to pay $50. I think if you want to skip to combat rating 210. You decide. If it's your first character, I would strongly suggest don't skip. Just play the game. The early levels will allow you to learn how to play your character. It will allow you to learn how to use your powers, and it will allow you to learn how the game actually works. So if it is your first character, I would strongly suggest don't skip anything. So in this case, let's start the game. Complete character creation, absolutely. So we got a bit not really lucky because I knew ahead of time that the name was available, but sometimes it can take a while for you to be able to find a name that actually works. I see a lot of people who sometimes will give up and they'll call their character 1234 1234. It happens. And also, eons ago, they made a whole bunch of changes to DC Universe Online. So nowadays, when you create a new character, you start with a whole bunch of feats that you didn't have in the past. Basically, they made a whole bunch of changes to the crafting and to a whole bunch of stuff, a whole bunch of stuff that works. So when you start, just to show you, when you start the game, you start with 10 skill points. Eons ago, you would start with you would start, I think, with 1 skill point just to be able to use your weapon, and that would be it. So if we look for our weapon, as you can see, we're using martial arts. Our first skill points will go here, but I will try to show you all the trees just to be sure. The loadout, right now all we have is taser pull, and usually I put taser pull here. It's just a personal preference. You don't have to do that. And here we have the various powers. If we go into gadgets, like it pretty much explained to us what the powers are. Eons ago, we would have a power tree and we would select the powers we wanted. Nowadays, it doesn't work like that anymore. Basically, as you can see, as you level up, you will earn certain powers. So when you get started, you get things like dodge, block, breakout, damage roll. These are innate trait that your character has. At level 1, you get taser pull. At level 3, you get fear gas. At level 5, so as your character goes up in level, you will gain more powers that you are going to be able to use. And at level 10, I'm going to be able to use, like, everyone starts as damage roll, everyone starts as DPS, but at level 10 at level 10, that is when you can start playing a role. So if you're playing a tank character, or in this case a controller character or a healer character, you're going to start being able to play your role at level 10. Early on in the game, doesn't really matter, but eventually it'll be important. Also, early on, what you're going to want to do is that you're going to want to go into your styles tab and wait for it to load. Come on. And then you're going to want to lock all your styles. Like if you look there, you see those little locks at the end of the under release all. You're going to want, you can see here unlock all styles, but hold Alt will lock all the styles. You could see all the styles are now locked. Or if I want, I could, oh no, unlock is not what I thought. Basically, it's actually release all. See, it's confusing a bit. Basically, eons ago, you could lock and unlock your styles, but nowadays, what you can do if you unlock your styles is that if you have a character that already has a style, you can use replay badges to unlock the styles on your character. So as you saw, we almost made a mistake of unlocking the styles. Actually, I didn't have enough replay badges to be able to do that, but you get the idea. So basically, nowadays, it's a hold all and release all. So if I do release all, what it does is that if I click on release all, it will unlock all the styles, and whenever I'm going to equip a piece of gear, it's going to change the style of my character. Usually, if you go through the trouble of customizing the look of your character, you don't want the style to change whenever you equip a new piece of gear. So we're going to go with hold all. Doesn't make much sense right now, but I will show you exactly how it works in just a minute. So basically, we've created our character. Let's assign our skill points. Early on, I don't think we're going to be able to assign all the skill points. But right now, let's go to our weapon, martial arts. As you can see early on, we only have access to martial arts, but eventually we're going to be able to have access to other weapons. But not at this point. I think it's around level 9 or level 10, I forget, that we gain access to other weapons. And the same with, you can see acrobatics. At level 9, we're going to be able to start purchasing acrobatic skills. And iconic powers will be at level 10. And stat points, those we could choose that right now, it seems. Oh no. Somehow I cannot see the level. Anyway, eventually, okay, require level 10, level 20. Oh, there we go. So level 15. So at level 15, we are going to be able to choose our to assign skill points in here. So early on, our 10 skill points are only going to be able to be put in martial arts, and even then we won't be able to put them all, which is normal at this point. We weren't supposed to start with 10 skill points. It's something that's been added somewhat recently. I won't use weapon mastery, so basically, as you can see, I still have 3 skill points that I'm going to be able to assign a bit later, and even as I play this first mission, I should have a few more skill points. So I showed you the first way to be able to customize the look of your character. It is at character creation. The other way will be gathering style as we play the game, but also if you've already played another character in the past, what you can do is that you can purchase styles using replay badges. We have this currency. We have this currency in this universe online that's called replay badges. It's something that every month you gain 150 replay badges if you are a subscriber. You can purchase replay badges in the marketplace if you want to. And basically, any style that I've gathered with other characters, I could purchase those styles right away using replay badges. And there is a few styles that I can have for free. Basically, there's some styles like the Enhanced Future Crusader, Enhanced Green Knight, and so on. These are completely free if you've already gathered them with another character. We're going to take a look at that in just a second. Another way to be able to get styles is from the marketplace. So for example, you can see recently we got the Batman 80th anniversary emblem. Let's go into style items. So you can see the Batman 80th anniversary emblem, but there's also the Dark Spectre 2018 Batsuit that I've already purchased. I might use some of that style in just a minute. And there's the Dark Knight Call. So if you want to create a Batman type character, one of the options is to purchase the Batman Call or the Dark Knight Call. It comes with two pieces. There's a call that covers the neck, or there's just a headpiece that covers only the head, depending on what you prefer. Sadly, you can see the Dark Knight Call is a little bit pricey. It's roughly 20 bucks. Here it's 18 bucks because I'm a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, it's 20 bucks. I've already purchased the Batman Call, so I could use it with this character right now. And also there's the Dark Spectre Batsuit. The Dark Spectre Batsuit is basically roughly 6 bucks. Again, if you're a subscriber, it's a little less expensive. So right at character creation, as you start the game, you could use this to customize the look of your Batman type character. And of course, there's the Batman 80th anniversary emblem that you can use for roughly 3 bucks. And let's see what else we could use. There's the DC Bombshell Harley style. It's a Harley Quinn style, but as you can see, it has a nice belt that has a bat emblem. So again, to create a Batman type character, this belt could do the trick. So once you've purchased those styles, those styles are unlocked for every single characters in your account. So what do you do once you've purchased the style? You go to the Redeem Claim tab. I'm not going to redeem everything, but I'm going to redeem a few things. Also, you can see there's a whole bunch of legend characters, but that will be for another video. There's a skin that I purchased, but today what interests us is the Batman style. So let's go down a bit. Let's that later. So you can see this is pretty much what I purchased in the past 7 years of playing this universe online. So here we have the Dark Knight Call, so let's consume that. I will redeem that, I should say, and there's the Dark Knight's Helm. I will show you the difference in just a second. Yeah, the Batman versus Superman. Oh yeah, I forgot. There used to be some emblems for the Batman versus Superman movie that were released. Sadly, those are, if you did not purchase them already, you can no longer purchase those. Let's take the DC Bombshell Harley belt. So you can see there's the Speed Force Spectrum suit. There we go, the Dark Spectre. And last but not least, the Batman's 80th anniversary emblem. So I showed you, let's consume them first. No. Almost made a mistake. Almost made a boo-boo. So I showed you hold all and release all. Let's do release all. So basically we're unlocking everything. So when I equip a new style, you're going to see what happens. So if I equip the Black Adam t-shirt, so you can see if I don't lock the styles, all the styles, or hold all the styles, whenever I'm going to equip a new pieces of style, it's going to change the style of my character. So if you don't want that to happen, that's why you have to click on the option Hold All. So sadly, if you do release all, that's what's going to happen. Whenever you're going to equip a new style or a new piece of gear, it's going to change the style of your character. So let's click on Hold All, and let's rearrange the style of our character. So I showed you the Dark Knight helm. And the Dark Knight Call, okay, we'll show it to you with the eye color. It'll make a bit more sense. So you can see the Dark Knight Call covers the neck of the character. If you just select the Dark Knight Helm for some reason, it will only cover the head of the character. It's basically the same, the very same style, but it depends if you want the style to cover the neck or the or not. So let's go back to our classic cape. For the gloves, we're going to keep those gloves, because why not? The same for the belt. For the pants, let's go back to our No Genesis pants. And for the boots, let's go back to our tall classic boots. So as you can see at character creation, using the styles in the marketplace, we can come up with a pretty darn good looking Batman right at character creation. And another thing I'm going to show you, basically as you saw, like our friend martial arts uses a weapon called Qatar. Obviously, our friend Batman doesn't use weapons because he's the Batman. So if you don't want to see that style with your character, what you need to do is that you need to go to your weapon, primary weapon, and you just select bare hands. Then you save, and now when you fight, you're not going to see the weapon for your character. So let's see what else we could do. So as you can see, there's a whole bunch of style that I have for free already. So let's just unlock those. So as you can see, you can unlock, you can hold or release only one piece of gear if you like, for some reason. So you can see the shoulders. We don't need no shoulders for our Batman. Just to show you, basically this is the Future Crusader style. So we could use this if we wanted to, but we're going to stick to with the style that we have already. Let's go back to high color. So if you wanted to, for your a future Batman character, I could use a Future Crusader style. Although if it is your first character, you're not going to have any of those style. But if you create other characters in the future, then you're going to have access to at least some of the styles. But there are things like accessories, there's no accessories. Although for emblems, you have access to pretty much all the emblems your other characters have. And that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, there's a few movement modes. I'm not going to use them with this character, so we won't bother with that today. So that's pretty much darn close. So you can see our Batman character. There is probably one other thing we could use. Let's take a look at the Batwoman cape. So if I wanted, I could use replay badges to unlock the Batwoman cape. It's 35 replay badges. I'm not going to do that. And there's also the Daring Vigilante cape that could do the trick, which is also 35 replay badges. So I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to stick with the classic cape for now. So at character creation, as you can see, we can create a pretty darn good looking version of our friend the Batman. So now we would be ready to start fighting the evil forces of Brainiac with our new character. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a walkthrough with this character. I'm going to play as a character mentored by Batman from level 1 to level 30. Obviously, I'm not going to do that in one video. It'll probably take me, I don't know, 10-12 videos to be able to do it all. We'll have to wait and see for that. So I guess that is pretty much it for now, guys. So if you want to have a nice Batman character at character creation, that is one option that you can use. But for the Batman call, it's going to be a bit expensive. What you could do, you could use the... I will show it to you in just a minute. What you could do is use the Batsuit, the Dark Spectre Batsuit. There we go. What you could do is use the Dark Spectre Batsuit if you don't want to purchase the Batman call. It's probably the cheapest option. And for the emblem, the 80th anniversary emblem, sadly that emblem will be available only until, I think it's September 29th or 30th, I forget. Basically until the end of September. So if you want to have this nice Batman emblem, you're gonna have to hurry up a bit to purchase it. And again, if you use this headpiece, what you could do if you want to fake the Batman call, you can just put the top of the headpiece black. And another thing you can do, you can go into your colors, select the skin, and also put the skin black. So you can see the skin of your character is black, the top of the chest piece is black, so it kind of mimics having a color with your character. So that's an option you could use if you don't want to spend 20 bucks on your Batman character. But if you don't mind purchasing the Batman call, it is pretty much the better option to be able to recreate our friend the Batman, obviously. But of course, we're gonna have to rearrange the skin. That should do it. So that is pretty much it for character creation, and even better, how to create your friend the Batman. If you have any questions, feel free to ask so in the comment section down below, and I'll see what I can do about answering your questions. So as always, guys, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.